Look who's back, people of Earth. Kerry Gorgone is back. I'm so glad you're here. We're doing a show. We're live. We can do a really fun show. We are getting ready to do our Play for Time brand and everything. So we have everything but the intro. Pretty good, right? What do you think of the background and everything?
They can't see the background. We're sitting on it.
So now I just took this side of the screen because whatever. So hey, why don't you? We found a theme song. What's the theme song you found to talk about it for a second?
So went on Epidemic Sound, which is your very favorite place to source royalty-free music for your different things that you do. And this one I found is by Speedy the Spider, and it's called Nunchaku Sunset. Do you want to hear it? I'll play it. I think that's fine.
Yeah, that's plenty. Hey, look at that. Joanne's here. She says, "Oh, look at that. There's like little bubbly comments now." Look at that. I don't even know how I did that. Hi, Joanne. Hi, Chloe. I'm glad you love the new branding. This is Josh Fisher, my longtime collaborator from 2009 or so. I contacted him. Get this. So I contacted Josh. I said, "Hey, Josh, can you make me a little place where you show Kerry and you show me, and you say play for time, and here's the thing. And oh, by the way, I asked ChatGPT to make the color scheme, and he said, okay, and that was it, done. That's the whole feedback I gave him. But look at us, we look fun.
We look fun. Our cartoons look fun.
I mean, what else is there to say? So I think, let's see. So I have a background version. I don't have overlays or anything like that to show you yet, but I'll show you the pictures. I mean, we'll have even more graphics, but if you go to the YouTube channel, it says to play for time. Kerry, you went on a trip, which left me to my own devices. I had to lead this show by myself twice, and I think Joanne and Chloe and others can attest. I did a horrific job. So can you talk to me a little bit about your trip to Vienna and what you saw over there as it relates to our Play for Time issue?
So I had to go to Vienna for work, and I went the weekend before to hang out with my daughter and her friend. So that was fun. And while I was there, I took my camera everywhere, and I was just kind of focused on getting things for B-roll. So kind of like if you want to build a library of stuff that you can show while you're talking about, say, Vienna or something, or if we wanted it for work, so we could show this is the kind of thing that we do on this type of work trip or whatever, because we did have like a community activity, that sort of thing. So anyway, it was a lot of practice. I did produce some videos while I was there for work, and also a couple afterwards. I had gotten so many weird clips of just the city and like no narration. There's no me talking about like, here I am walking the main streets of Vienna. Like I didn't do any of that. So these are just, little like photo reels, except instead of photos, it's video. I don't know.
Well, so why don't we start with the one where you did the Vienna cityscapes, and we'll just run them, and then after we run them, we can talk a little bit about them. Looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's very distinctive as a city. I've traveled a bit, like more than probably the average person, not as much as you, but I think know a city like a building or a cityscape from Vienna probably because the buildings are so distinctive with that sort of cream colored stone and the yellow and white accents and stuff. I think just a beautiful city really comes alive when the sun goes down. The lighting is just gorgeous. I did take a video of the horse-drawn carriages, but my daughter wouldn't go in one because she said it was a tourist trap, and I was like, "But we're tourists," and no dice. So, yeah.
Definitely very beautiful. I'd been to Vienna in June, and I was so excited we were getting a chance to go because I had such a blast. I thought, wow, this is a beautiful city. I was thinking about the whole new concept of play for time. The idea is people in, somewhere between their 40s to 80s. How do you stay engaged? What do you do to connect? Would you say this is a great place for people of that age range between 40 and 80 to go and visit? Did you feel like it was like a accessible city for people in those different ages?
That's a very interesting question. So, yes, it's very clean for a city. Like it doesn't I've been to some cities that smell like hot garbage. This city is clean, like bright and shiny and pristine. And the people were nice. Um, there is a bike lane. Be aware of the bike lane and stay out of it because they will hit you. Um, but yes, I think it's very accessible. It's mostly level, so you're not walking up a lot of hills. Like Lisbon, for example, in Portugal was a very hilly city. You could face some challenges there if you have any trouble walking or if you use like a wheelchair or anything. Vienna is very level, it's very clean, and I felt very safe. So yeah, I loved it. Lots and lots and lots of history there. So I'm a huge nerd. Of course, I loved it.
So I do it at AP Short, by the way. I'll have to turn Discord on. I haven't in a little bit, so I'll make sure I drop in and whisper hello to you and whoever this Thomas character is. The other thing you did, I sort of remote controlled you and said, "Hey, see if there's any street art anywhere." And you took a little video of street art. You want to talk about?
I will. So first, let me say I don't have a lot of video of it. I put it into one little clip. There, I saw more than I was able to capture because coming into the city through the suburbs and the side neighborhoods, there was a surprising amount of street art. And even in the city itself, a surprising amount because it's forbidden. You're not supposed to do it, it's illegal. So the fact that there's any is very interesting. I also learned from an Uber driver, so consider the source, I don't know, that once a week, apparently it is legal on Fridays to go underground to where the trains run and do graffiti down there. Like they're fine with people once a week doing graffiti down there. It's like the purge, but for graffiti. So I got a little bit of street art because I passed a couple that looked like really good candidates for you. So just keep that in mind. If you're like, wow, that's a short clip, there must not be a lot. There actually is. I just didn't capture it. On the trash can. Like who's spray paints a trash can?
I think that's crazy. I love street art. Anywhere that I go, if I catch some, I love to take a look at it. I love to make a video of it. So thank you for making that little bon mot, one might say, little moose bouche. Now, the other thing I knew you were going to get to go to, and I wanted to go to Vienna for this event. I had other things I had to do, and they were already lousy with executives already, so I didn't think you needed another one there. You got to go to an actual European Christmas market. So can you talk just a little bit about that? And then I almost forgot, but I'm going to remember to tell people something about this video. But go ahead.
So Christmas markets are a huge thing in Europe. I had never been to one until like last week when I went to a thing in Boston. So before I left for Vienna, I went to the Marketing Profs B2B Forum, top marketing event for B2B professionals. If you're interested in the space, look up Marketing Profs. You won't regret it. But we went to a Christmas market in Boston while we were there, and it was, fine or whatever. They were playing this like club music, so you're walking around looking at holiday stuff, but it's going just like had kind of a weird vibe. So it was like fun or whatever. But in Europe, they do it right. So in Vienna alone, there are so many different ones. There's like the oldest one in the city, the biggest one in the city. So I went through several and I got some video of the Christmas markets during the day because they open during the day and stay
Yeah.
open from 7 or 8.
Hang on. So this is the thing I want people to realize in the video, because when I saw it, I went, oh, look at how this shot goes from day to night. Look how Kerry caught this. This is, I can't remember. This is a budding budding person who makes video. Look at what you caught in this one. You put it together. Roll the tape.
So I was traveling for the weekend, had my daughter with me. She never wants to be on video. Never, never. So there you go. I don't have any narration because usually I can stop you and get you to say something. I had nobody I could stop and get them to say something.
Well, I would have said some things because that was so cool. I love that shot. I love how it goes from look at the star in the daytime. Whoosh, now we're at nighttime. I was like, I was so envious of that freaking shot. That was really, really good. So, and I love a good Christmas market. Like you said, the Boston one was weird and freakish. Who did we go there with?
John Wall from Trust Insights.
John Wall. Couldn't even think. I was like, someone who enjoyed it for the reasons we enjoyed it. All right. Now, this next one, you went on a tour. You got to do kind of your jam, but not exactly in the time period of tutors and stuff like that.
No, that's so true. So, okay, in Austria, you have obviously a lot of history overlaps with the history of royals in other countries. It's just like how it works. They all intermarried for so long. The Habsburg dynasty lasted for, depending who you ask, the numbers were different depending on the tour guide, but more than 600 years, the Habsburgs ruled the Austrian Empire. So there's a lot of really interesting history there. I am a dork, and I have a special affinity for like women rulers. So Maria Theresa was one of the only women to rule in her own right in the Austrian Empire. She had 16 children, one of whom was Marie Antoinette, grew up to be Marie Antoinette. So anyway, it was very interesting. I got to see the two palaces in Vienna. There's the winter one and the summer one. The summer one's called Schönbrunn. Went there first. That's where that big Christmas market with the star was. And the others, oh gosh, is it Hofburg Palace? It was the Winter Palace. So I went and took video inside the palaces. I don't know, because I'm a nerd. Again, I didn't have anybody willing to talk. You'll see me continually shooting the ceilings. If you ever go on a tour of a palace, look up. Sometimes you see the most incredible things. It was a lot more fun to kind of look up and see just how big the room was, and also how ornate the things are, all the gilding and stuff like that. So it was pretty incredible. The cool thing about the Habsburgs, if you get the chance to go to Vienna, they occupied these palaces right up until they relinquished power after the First World War. So you can see like Emperor Franz's desk and all the portraits he had of his Empress Sissy and all that stuff. So anyway, it was really cool. And I can show you a little bit of what I captured.
What in that very last clip? What was that thing that looked like I don't know, a closet or a cabinet or something? What was that in that last bit of the clip?
I knew you'd ask. It was a heater. So it's very interesting. You didn't see a door. There is a door on the back. And the servants would go around to the other side of the wall and put wood into the heater. And I forget the material, like glass or something, but it would heat the room. So you didn't have to see your servants. You just wanted to be warm. But that's what they are. And you'll see them in every room in both palaces. It used to originally just be in the Winter Palace, but they put them into Schönbrunn, the Summer Palace, later on. And Schönbrunn means beautiful fountain, by the way. It was a spot outside the city that had a beautiful naturally occurring spring.
So Joanne points out something. Chloe says, whoa, look at all those intricate details. Joanne says, can you imagine 16 kids and ruled an empire? Of course, she must have had multitudes of nannies, but still.
For real, though. I mean, it is impressive that she took power like, hey, guys, I'll just do this for like a little bit, and then we can totally give it to like a dude if you want to. And then they're like, cool, we're ready for that, I think, now. And she's like, no. So she just kept it and ruled for 40 years.
That is total and utter shenanigans. How awesome is that? So that was cool too, because when I first saw that video setup, I was sort of like, no, wait a second here. This is like a whole lot of shots of the ceiling. But then when I thought about it, and you and I talked about it, I was like, oh, you know what? That kind of makes sense, because there's a whole bunch of people who are in those, like there's so many tourists in there. So you had to kind of like get your shots around tourists. Besides making sure you looked up, did that play into it? Like, how do you shoot film like that with tourists all around you?
I got a lot more clips than I used. I had some that I was really careful to distinguish between the inside of one and the outside of another. And then I was like, nobody cares. So yeah, it was very tight. In one of the palaces, Hofburg, it was so tight I couldn't actually get a lot of really good shots. So a lot of my shots are from Schönbrunn. There's just a little more room to move. So that was one thing. The more room I had, the more options I had. The other was a question of lighting and scale. So the lighting, some of these rooms, they're made for balls and parties. And so they've got these incredible floor to ceiling windows, gorgeous, but makes the lighting a little tricky for trying to capture, intricate detail can get kind of blown out. So yeah, I just sort of experimented. And it just so happened that the shots that captured the detail I wanted were nearly all like starting up at the ceiling and working my way down. Also in Vienna, you were not supposed to film people without their consent. So I really made an effort to try and avoid people if I could, like in my shot.
That was something I learned after I got back from Vienna. And a lot of people said to me, wow, I cannot believe how many shots of people from Vienna you got. You must have done a lot of work to get all those permissions. And I went, huh. And that explains so much about my interactions with cops over there. Well, we have one more clip to go, and this was fun. I dragged you down to Boston because I wanted to see the Christmas tree lighting, and I thought that'd be a great spot for you to get some footage. Now, what's kind of fun, this is fun for me, your clips, I used some of your clips in my YouTube video, but then I made a whole news story out of your clips for your version of the tree lighting, in which I just sprinkled a couple of my photos in, because mine was how much fun I had doing street photography, and boy, it was really cool to get back there. Yours is what it was like to experience the tree lighting. So this is about a 3-minute clip, but it should be some fun. I am at Faneuil Hall. We are here for the tree lighting ceremony. There's a lot of people here to do caroling and holiday music and all that kind of baloney. It's not even Thanksgiving, but I guess this is where the action's at. Nope. Trying to shoot just very candid things.
Sorry, I had to let the queen play out for a little bit. I love me some Kerry. We all know that song. She's the queen of Christmas, right? You guys have been bracing it in the cold with the rain. Just look around and give yourself a round of applause. Look at this turnout with all the rain.
It wasn't that impressive, actually. It's just a couple of white lights, not that interesting. This is Boston City Hall. It is one of the best examples of one of the worst architecture styles ever invented, called brutalism. It means it's big, ugly, and ultra functional. It was super popular in the 60s for no good reason, and this is really truly one of the most grotesque buildings ever made by humans.
So that was that. That was a lot of fun. But you see, that's what you were saying. I didn't have anyone to narrate. So it's funny because the way you like to do this is you like to tell stories where there's narration, and you don't have somebody to be your host person. That's kind of hard for you to tell your story.
So Joanne said, looks like the people are the most interesting in the Boston video. I mean, definitely. So people are legitimately interesting, right? So everybody's a story and you want to know the story, and you just have to be real aware that in some places they don't want you to film them. But in this case, it's fine.
Yeah, everybody was there to have fun and be cheery and celebrate the season and all that. And when I brought my camera out for people, just had so much fun about that. So yeah, what Chloe says is funny too, because if you're being a videographer, if you're making videos, you are shooting for a different thing than shooting for stills. So like when Chloe got to see my YouTube video, because she's always the first commenter on my videos. Thank you. When you got to see my video of it, it's a very different story, isn't it? Kerry, when you were there shooting, it's tricky to shoot together like that. It's, because I know you're trying to be a lot aware of me. I'm trying to not be aware of you. I'm trying to just go around and get my shot and look at the people. So what's it feel like? It must be strange to kind of coordinate that.
So you are very interesting. You make faces, you talk to people, and you kind of amble around and, I don't know, do interesting stuff. So it's actually all I have to do is I get some of the scene, like just B-roll of the people on the stage, B-roll of the stuff in the bakery case you're looking at. B-roll. So I've learned a lot about B-roll, like just shoot. If you use it, you use it. If you don't, you don't. But following you around, you are the protagonist. And so if I show you ambling through the crowd looking for your shot, there's a story there. If I show you talking to the vendor selling light up necklaces, there's a story there. So I don't know. I enjoy it. I think I never realized how much I wanted to be like an Instagram girlfriend, but I guess it's basically that type of dynamic where I just follow you around and like point a camera at you.
I remember when there was that first bit of backlash about that sort of thing, those Instagram girlfriends, when they would, the guy would be, the girl would be making photos of the food and she'd be handing the camera up to the guy to make him do those things. I can't get over that. It's funny that was a thing in everybody's life for a while.
But that's so not what I'm doing. It's different because you'll see sometimes it's almost always, I'm sorry, ladies, it's almost always the woman that's like, take a photo of me in front of this thing. No, don't like that. Make the camera higher. Do it again. My hair was funny. And like, you'll see it. And I'll think that's awful. I don't do that. I don't tell you what to do. You would ruin the shot if I told you what to do, because you wouldn't do it because you're oppositional. But now you know certain things that I look for. And so you will intentionally turn it on its head and make a face at me or not walk away or walk away in a funny way. Like so you kind of know without me telling you what it was I wanted you to do. And then you oppositionally don't do it.
Yes, and also when speaking of the things like, my hair looked funny or whatever, half the time I'll come back from these video shoots and I'll see like a big rat float in the back of my hair, and I'll be like, oh, that's good, I'm glad we did that, because I certainly am oblivious to my entire self. So it's really, I think it was Salisbury Beach for sunrise that one happened, but it was really funny. So now I have to pay a little more attention because somebody doesn't stage direct the talent, because he'll be a jerk about it anyway.
For one thing, if you're shooting something at sunrise, nobody expects your hair to be perfect. That's crazy. Also, you take photos of whoever you want, whenever the heck you want, me included. So I have plenty of photos of me where I'm like, oh God, I look really bad. But I appreciate that you took them. It's like, that's what I look like. There was one you took of me. I was making a video of Portsmouth. It was like the waterfront in Portsmouth. And I have my tongue out, like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I was not aware at the time. I still don't know, but there it is in the picture.
Yeah, that's the thing that can happen. Look, we don't really have our exit video music either and intro video music because, one, usually we beg Dan to do that for us. Two, we just found that song again today. So, by the way, this thing is sponsored by StreamYard. You go to cbrogan.net/StreamYard. You can make your own. I have to get a duck too. I don't even have a duck picture. So then who is taking shots of you is Chris as you are walking around. That's Kerry. So yeah, Kerry wanders in to take all this great role and whatever. And I don't think that person wants to be anonymous. I think they're my co-host. So yeah, Kerry shoots the videography. Kerry shoots the video when we go out and do these things. So, but that's because at work, she's learning this for work stuff as well. So it's just kind of a natural symbiosis. I've been so turned on to do photography lately that it kind of works out to have both on the go.
Yes, it's a lot of transferable lessons there, like putting yourself where the shot's going to be, and paying some attention or choosing somebody to sort of follow. Choosing a lot of times if I'm going to make a video and I have some advance notice, I do structure it. Like I had a whole video I did at the event for work. It was all dad jokes, but themed around the industry and the company. And I had shots, like I planned jokes, I planned people, and I planned some of the shots. But yeah, I'm learning. I'm testing a lot of stuff.
Well, that's it. I still we don't have video for intro. We don't have video for outro, but we have a new song that will sound a little louder when we put it in the video outro and intro. It's called, well, maybe we'll do two different ones. I don't know. It's called Nunchaku Sunset, and that's by Speedy the Spider. But that's the end of our show, so get on out of here.